Welcome back to M Hood Fishing, everybody. James J. Reed. He asked earlier this morning if this bike, if its electronics can get wet. Yes, it is water resistant, but it is not waterproof. That means that in the short term, in a light rain, it can get wet and it'll be fine, but not in the long term, meaning do not leave this out in the rain for a long time. If you're going to have to ride through buckets, if you're going to be a short-term ride in them buckets to get home, then you're probably going to be fine. There are things I'm going to tell you that you should do once you get home before you charge the bike. But if you're worried about it, if you got a big ride in buckets, you know, like very intense rain, you can get yourself some sandwich baggies with some rubber bands and cover this and this. Now this particular bike, like I said, it is water resistant, but it is not waterproof. Those are two different things. This particular bike has an integrated battery. So one of the big things that you need to worry about with most e-bikes that have the battery exposed right here is the connections getting wet. You want to make sure that's nice and dry before you charge it. This is a little less likely to get wet because it's inside there. This right here is where you charge the bike. So if that comes loose, water could get in there. You should, if you have one of these, you're going to get one of these, you should take the battery out after you've had to ride it in some intense rain and check it, make sure it's dry. Now every time I get home after it's gotten wet, I dry it off with some towels, whatever, paper towels, regular towels, and then I charge it. Always make sure the battery is dry before I charge it too. So we're good to go. Sometimes I will put sandwich baggies over the screen here and this right here, this controller. But honestly, I've ridden my Himiway cruiser, not this one. I haven't ridden this one in the rain yet. Maybe today, this is a good day for it. I mean, look at this. Got some chances right here. I have ridden that cruiser in a light rain without any sandwich baggies, and it was fine. Other bikes I've had, I've done the same thing and they're fine. A lot of electronics these days are water resistant, but most of them are not waterproof. Definitely not waterproof. So yeah, you're right. We are on our way to the post office. We might see some rain, and I'll talk a little bit more about this issue. I always keep my e-bikes inside, and you should too. They need to be kept in a warm, dry place. Got a chicken over here. I will be fishing in this video, but look at this. No hands. That's kind of a big deal to me because I saw some people online recently before this came saying that they were unable to ride the bike without hands. They said it wasn't balanced, but I find it to be okay. Some bikes I've ridden over the years, I've had a hard time balancing them because things were bent on them from wrecks or whatever. But this one is fine. I'm able to find that sweet spot. We're about to deal with some traffic here. All right, at this point, I have to ride along this highway and it has no shoulder, so I gotta ride on the sidewalk, and that doesn't look pretty, does it? Man, I gotta come out in the street a little bit. Let that car go by and then we can do it. First bit of debris on the sidewalk. Somebody had a fender bender there. Bigger than I thought it would be. Big box there. Yeah, you're right. There's another question that I'm about to answer. A lot of people ask, how do I protect the bike when I'm gonna haul it on a trailer hitch? There is an e-bike trailer hitch out there. There's a few of them to where you can haul these on the back of your car off the bumper. Now you can protect it back there from the rain by putting a cover on it. This is a
e-bike cover right here that I use sometimes. Thought I'd bring it to just to demonstrate. But also you need to lock it back there, and lock it whenever you leave it, like when, because I went in the post office, so I locked it. I use a folding bike lock. It's just a temporary thing. I wouldn't use that if I was going to leave that e-bike out for 7, 6, 8, 10 hours somewhere. People love to try and steal those. Definitely, if you're going to be hauling it somewhere, like on the back of an RV or a car or something like that, you want to take the battery off because of theft. And if you're going to cover it with, to protect the electronics with a cover, definitely the battery would be protected too by that cover, but you never know. And theft is the biggest thing. If they look at the bike, or if it's back there, and even if it's locked, if the battery ain't there, 9 times out of 10 they're gonna walk on, they're gonna pass it up, because the battery is the most important thing on your bike. It is the most expensive thing. To get a second battery on most e-bikes, it costs a lot of money. So yeah, if you're going to leave that bike out in the city locked up, take the battery inside with you before you go to work. All right, trailer is stuffed. I'm hauling now about maybe 30 something, maybe 40 pounds, but we gotta hurry up because no, they're not turning here. I can barely feel that I'm hauling a little bit of extra weight now. Let's see what stopping feels like with that extra weight back there. I think this is the most weight I've hauled with this bike. Those hydraulic brakes worked like there was nothing back there. Awesome. If you're curious about what I'm hauling back there, it's basically like a generator. It's a type of generator. Whoa, did you see that? I pointed the camera that way at first to do this intro for this fishing segment, and I don't know, I saw an object up there. UFO? I don't know, probably a drone, maybe a drone, because that would make sense for over that way. But yeah, look at this. Look at this coming. And there's some more things back in there that don't look too friendly, but that's probably the worst of it right there for the moment, isn't it? So I just need a few more baits. I have a couple baits for catfish later tonight, but really I need just a few more. I mean, 2's not enough, right? So that's what we're doing here. We're gonna get some bait. I haven't seen a UFO since I was a kid. And, well, maybe I saw one in the desert a long time ago. Who knows? Just drop shotting half a red wiggler on a size 6 Aberdeen. And kind of pop it around a little bit. Use it as a search bait first off to see if I can find where they're hanging. I kind of know some spots they tend to hang, but things are different today. There's been quite a few bad storms since I came here, and so that means, since this is a drainage ditch, that means there's been a lot of current. Things look different. There's more wide open space today. There's a lot of vegetation missing that used to be right over there. You see where this dead thing in the water is in the middle of the canal? That vegetation you see way past it used to extend to where this bend is. It's no longer there. Probably got washed out. Oh, we're getting a bite right here. Yeah, there's something little right there. Oh, that's not little. That's not little at all. Look at the size of that cichlid. Holy moly. I've caught quite a few big cichlids here before. That is huge. That is a massive cichlid. So I wasn't planning on keeping massive cichlids, but you know, it's not legal to return these back to the water live. It's kind of silly at this point because these are absolutely everywhere down here. The reason why it's illegal to return these alive is because it's an invasive species, though it's native to North America, just not Louisiana.
It's native to South Texas and North Mexico. Yep, my friend Joshua, who runs This Is Africa Outdoors, would have an interest in this. I did an IG post. Their cichlids, which are tilapia, can't get much bigger than this, but that is a good one for here. This is a big one for here. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there. They don't make good bait though, because they're not an oily, bloody fish. I have caught alligator gar with them. I don't see that UFO. Oh, I was hoping it would come back. It might not. Who knows what that was? It was just this weird stationary object up in the cloud. Could have been just a dark bit of cloud. Could have been anything, such as a drone. Big, massive drone. Need some more bait. Here we go. Oh, actual bait this time. Yeah, you're right. One extra bait. We might try fishing with that cichlid later, either tonight or tomorrow. I want to go after this rain if I can. But save. Just pop them right in there. May or may not be able to go later. Have to wait and see what the weather does. If not later, tomorrow morning. This is massive. This is probably the prelude to a pre-tie. A retie, I mean, not a pre-tie. It's definitely a prelude. Where are we hooked at, buddy? We may not be able to get him close enough to unhook him. The line might the line might break. I think the heat is getting to me. It's kind of humid and warm right now. North of me, there's a lot of heat advisories. All right, so this is kind of a spooky thing I'm about to do, because he could easily snap at me. The hook's not in his mouth. It's actually, for lack of a better term, it's in his armpit. Oh, the line broke. There he goes. All right, hopefully we don't catch another turtle, but likely that we will. Gotcha. Not what I want though. Another little cichlid. Little this time. Trying a different spot now. Oh, I came over here to get away from little cichlids, and what happens? Little cichlids. Another cichlid. It's just left and right. There we go. Ooh. Actual bait this time. Good size one too. Look at that. There he is. Oh, nope. Let me shake that worm a little more, see if he'll come back. Gotcha. Setting the hook by reeling. And that looks like it's going to be a big cichlid. We can pair that with, oh my goodness. That was a good size one too, guys. I'm just saying. Right in front of where the soft cooler is, you can see a bunch of fish, and I think they're all cichlids. Don't have a lot of bait on there. Yep. Tons of them here. Gotcha. What do we got? Again, another cichlid. Right off. Oh. Another one, another cichlid. There we go. Oh yes. Finally bait. Not big, but that'll work. Ah, cichlid. Back over here where I started, because it's kind of shady. I'm getting really tired of catching cichlids.
Oh, finally, we caught actual bait that is actually too small. If that was a cichlid, what the? Gotcha. Oh, ah. Wow. Really bending my rod to pick him up into the deck. And he swallowed it. And yeah, yep, calling it. Another massive one. Whatever that was we saw in the clouds, I obviously enhanced the footage. I don't know what that's going to bring us, but you do now because you saw it. Yeah, you're right, guys. It's not up there anymore, but the clouds are still there and they keep coming. They'll pass over, then more will come. I thought I saw some rain off in the distance coming down. We have plenty of good bait and plenty of bad bait now. We kept some cichlids, kept everything else that was good bait. Looks like we got some weather over this way too. I'll tell you what, we're gonna keep the camera out, and if it rains, we'll get to see how the bike is in the rain. But if it doesn't rain, then we'll just get to see where we started. Looks like we got our wish. Sometimes in southeast Louisiana we call this a light rain, but maybe it's medium. I don't know, it feels kind of heavy in reality. I don't think it's going to last long, but we're getting on down the road. We got heavy rain, and oh, look, this road looks sudsy. Heavy rain and sunshine coming out. All right, tearing away from the highway. Still raining, bike's still working fine. Oh, wind. Check the hydraulics again. Nice. Hard stop, didn't slide. Awesome. That's really important to me. Brakes gotta work when they're wet. Yes, I have the kettle on. While I'm waiting for that, I'm gonna go ahead and start drying it off. I was able to get home really quick, but it's still raining and I'm soaked to the bone. The bike is wet. I had no problems coming the whole way. So I'm drying first the surfaces of the LCD, you know, the screen, these buttons here. I'm gonna go ahead and just dry where we have the controller, what looks like a mid-drive motor. Get the outside of this, inside of that. Maybe dry these connections, just dry generally the whole thing, right? Now that I have the general area around the battery dry, I'm going to go ahead and unlock it and remove the battery. I have it up on the counter. We have a little bit of moisture up here at the top. Let's look down here. Nope, nothing down here. So we're going to go ahead and generally dry whatever seems wet here and leave it sitting up here for a second. All right, I think it's good and dry. We're gonna go ahead and plug it in and charge it separate from the bike. Yes, a charger does come with this. All right, I haven't plugged it in yet. We have a green light there. We want it to go red when I plug it in, and it goes red. It starts to make noise. It's got a fan in there. All right, we're just gonna let that sit there and charge and just let everything generally dry off on its own. I thought I would run my hand in here to see if we have some moisture. It feels damp, but it's not soaking wet. It's probably just humidity. We're gonna go ahead and too much milk. Safe level now. All right, now I'm gonna take my tea in the other room, get out of these wet clothes, do my IG post. I'm looking forward to hearing what Joshua, who runs This Is Africa Outdoors, my favorite fishing channel out of Zimbabwe. I'm interested in his opinion on the cichlids. They're big for around here, but really small in comparison to what he catches there. He catches really big tilapia. It's amazing how big they are. And tigerfish. Yeah, you're right. So we will get back to that and test it, see if it's chaos or a nightmare, or if it just turns on like normal and is fine. And yes, my generator made it home just fine. Didn't get too wet. Right, it's been a while. As you can see, the battery is charged. I'm gonna go ahead and let's see if it turns on. All right, I'm gonna lift the back up. All right, now I've got it lifted up and I'm gonna try. Yeah, I'm moving the pedal and the motor is turning on. Looks like we've answered James J. Reed's question quite accurately and tested it out. Yeah, you're right. James J. Reed is actually a YouTube channel out of New Orleans about fishing and cooking. All right, guys, if you want to check out the bike, there is a link down in the description. I am not getting paid to talk about this bike. It was sent to me to review. I will do 1 or 2 more videos about it, and then we'll just be riding it for a while. And later on, I might dip back in and give a review of it after I've been riding it for maybe 100 miles or something. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see. But before then, thanks for watching, liking, subscribing, sharing, and I will see you next time.